I am going to talk to you about visual effects vocabulary. The reason for making this video is because I'm doing a behind the scenes on the training of a ninja for the visual effects, and I use a lot of terms that might be confusing to people that don't know about visual effects. I will go over these vocabulary words, and if you already know them, then this video is pretty much useless. But if you don't, keep watching. I'm about to explain them all. The first term I'll go over is keyframes. Now, easier to show than to tell, so I'm going to keyframe the position. See the position, add keyframe here, then if I move the cursor over and then change the position, then in between these two keyframes it will move that space. Another term is masking. So if I select this pen tool, what this will do is create a mask, and then we'll keep everything inside of that mask, which I can also make the mask subtract instead of add. Keying is just taking out the green screen. And I'm going to just create a background for this. Roto-scoping. This is a substitute green screen for, like, if something goes off the green screen here, then I would rotoscope around it by using the mask tool and draw around his head. And then set that mask to subtract. And then it acts as a green screen around that. The thing is, for a moving picture, then you need to move that almost frame by frame. And how you would do that is by clicking keyframe for the mask path, move it over a few frames, then would have to keep that moving with his head every time it moves. Another way of doing rotoscoping is with the roto brush tool. Now with this tool, this little green thing, everything I select, it will keep in. Everything I don't, it takes out. Which sometimes it can track really well if the background is contrasted. However, it doesn't always work out that well, and here's an example of where it didn't work out so well in a Vine I recently did called I Wouldn't Do That If I Were You. And as you can see, my hand is awfully close to the color of the background, so when I tried using the roto brush tool for this, it would take in a lot of the background like that. And then whenever that happens, I have to remove that. Motion tracking. This is tracking the motion of a specific spot, so I can click track motion, then bring this track point to, say, that little dirt spot, then analyze forward, and then it's tracking that spot throughout the whole thing. Then I can apply objects to that track, like, say, the dojo. Obviously not finished yet. And now I will edit the target of this motion track and select the dojo. OK. Apply X and Y coordinates. And then it will track with that spot. Color grading is applying a certain look to your film. Without color grading, this shot would look like this. So I wanted the grass to look a little more green. So for the midtones, I turned it up to make it look a little more green. And it originally looked really hot too, so I turned down the yellows to even that out. And then mess around with the saturation, and that's how that shot worked. Or in a shot like this, I would color grade it to make it look like it's matching its background. Without color grading, it looks like this. So since the background looks more orangish, then I would turn the colors to make it look more orange, and then turn down the brightness to make it look like it's facing the opposite direction of the sun more. Rendering is basically the buffering of special effects. So for example, lots of special effects in this shot, it takes a long time to render, so if I go over here, then that right there, that loading is rendering. So shots with a lot of layers in them and three-dimensional stuff will take a long time to render. And that concludes this episode. I hope you have enjoyed this video and learned something from it. And if you like sketch comedy, please check out my channel, particularly The Training of a Ninja, because I used the effects from that short film for this. And I will see you in the next video.